Have you ever looked at your paycheck after working an entire month and wondered, I make a decent salary, so why does it still feel like I'm constantly running out of money before the next payday arrives? If that question has ever crossed your mind, you're far from alone because millions of hardworking people around the world earn respectable incomes, yet they continue living paycheck to paycheck with little savings and constant financial stress. The biggest surprise is that many of these people don't have low-paying jobs at all. In fact, some earn six figures every year, drive expensive cars, wear designer clothes, and still struggle to pay their bills on time. The truth is that earning a good salary doesn't automatically make you wealthy, because income and wealth are two completely different things that many people mistakenly treat as the same. A high salary simply gives you the opportunity to build wealth, but without the right habits, mindset, and financial decisions, that opportunity quietly slips away year after year. Think about someone who earns $50,000 a year but saves 20% of every paycheck, invests consistently, and avoids unnecessary debt. Then compare them with someone earning $150,000 who spends every dollar as soon as it arrives. After 10 or 15 years, the first person often ends up with far more financial security, while the second person continues feeling trapped despite earning 3 times as much. This happens because money isn't controlled by income alone, it's controlled by behavior, and behavior is something that no paycheck can fix on its own. One of the biggest reasons people stay broke is something economists call lifestyle inflation, and it's one of the most dangerous financial traps because most people don't even realize it's happening. The moment someone receives a raise, they immediately convince themselves that it's finally time to upgrade their lifestyle instead of upgrading their financial future. A slightly bigger paycheck suddenly becomes the excuse to finance a luxury SUV, move into a larger apartment, buy premium electronics, order expensive meals several times a week, and take vacations that were never part of the budget before. At first, these upgrades feel completely justified because after years of hard work you naturally believe you've earned the right to enjoy the rewards of your success. The problem is that every new upgrade also creates a new monthly expense, and before long your entire salary increase disappears into payments, subscriptions, insurance costs, maintenance fees, and higher living expenses. Without realizing it, your standard of living rises at exactly the same speed as your income, leaving your savings account almost identical to where it was years earlier. This is why someone earning twice as much today can still feel just as financially stressed as they did when they earned half that amount, because their expenses quietly expanded to consume every extra dollar. The wealthiest people often avoid this trap by treating every raise as an opportunity to increase their investments before increasing their lifestyle, allowing their money to grow instead of simply funding more consumption. Instead of asking themselves, what can I buy with this raise? They ask a much more powerful question: how can this extra income create even more income for me in the future? That single shift in thinking separates people who spend money from people who build wealth, because one group focuses on looking successful while the other focuses on becoming financially free. Another major reason people remain broke despite earning good salaries is the constant pressure to impress people who are rarely paying attention in the first place. Social media has transformed comparison into a daily habit, filling our screens with luxury homes, expensive vacations, designer brands, and lifestyles that make ordinary people feel like they're somehow falling behind. What most viewers never see are the loans behind the luxury cars, the credit card debt, behind the vacations, or the financial stress hidden behind perfectly edited photos and videos. Many people begin chasing an image of success instead of actual financial success, spending money they haven't earned yet just to maintain appearances they can barely afford. The sad reality is that looking rich and being rich are often complete opposites because truly wealthy people usually prioritize ownership, investments, and long-term freedom over temporary status symbols. Every unnecessary purchase may feel small in the moment, but over months and years those decisions quietly steal thousands of dollars that could have been invested to create lasting wealth. Imagine investing the money spent on luxury upgrades every single month instead of using it to impress strangers whose opinions will never pay your bills or secure your retirement. The difference between those two choices may not seem dramatic today, but after 20 years it could easily mean the difference between financial independence and financial stress. Debt is another silent reason why so many high-income earners never actually become wealthy, because every dollar spent on interest is a dollar that can no longer be invested to create a better financial future. Credit cards are designed to make spending feel effortless, allowing you to enjoy the reward today while pushing the pain of payment into the future, but that delayed pain almost always comes back much larger than expected. What begins as a few small purchases eventually turns into hundreds or even thousands of dollars in monthly payments, making it feel like your paycheck disappears before you've had a chance to enjoy it. The worst part about debt isn't just the money you repay, it's the opportunities you lose, because every payment you send to a lender is money that could have been growing inside an investment account instead. Another reason people stay broke is that they never give their money a clear purpose, earning thousands of dollars every month without having a simple plan for where every dollar should actually go. Most people know exactly how much they earn, but if you ask them how much they spent on restaurants, subscriptions, online shopping, or impulse purchases last month, they usually have no idea. Money has a strange habit of disappearing when it isn't given a job, and those small everyday expenses that seem harmless on their own slowly grow into thousands of dollars by the end of the year. A daily coffee, another streaming subscription, frequent food delivery, late-night online shopping, and random purchases during sales may not seem expensive individually, but together they quietly become one of the biggest obstacles to building wealth. Successful people don't leave their finances to chance because they understand that every dollar should have a destination before it ever reaches their bank account. This is why budgeting isn't about restricting your life or saying no to everything you enjoy. It's about making intentional decisions so your spending reflects your goals instead of your emotions. Many people also depend entirely on a single paycheck, believing their job provides complete financial security, but one unexpected layoff, recession, or company restructuring can change everything almost overnight. The wealthiest individuals rarely rely on just one source of income because they understand that financial security comes from diversification rather than dependence. Whether it's dividend-paying stocks, rental properties, freelance work, digital products, small businesses, or index fund investments, every additional income stream reduces financial stress and increases long-term stability. Creating multiple income sources doesn't happen overnight, but every successful stream usually starts with one small decision that grows consistently over time. Another costly mistake is waiting for the perfect time to start investing, as countless people tell themselves they'll begin after their next raise, promotion, or bonus, only to repeat the same excuse year after year. The reality is that investing isn't about how much money you start with, it's about how much time you give your money to grow through the incredible power of compound interest. Someone who invests a small amount consistently for 30 years will often build significantly more wealth than someone who invests a much larger amount but starts 15 years later. Time is one asset you can never recover, which means delaying your investments is often far more expensive than investing a smaller amount today. Emotional spending is another hidden wealth killer that most people underestimate, because we often buy things not because we truly need them, but because we're stressed, bored, lonely, excited, or simply trying to reward ourselves after a difficult day. Modern marketing understands human psychology extremely well, using limited time offers, flashy discounts, and emotional advertising to convince people they're making smart decisions when they're actually making impulsive ones. Every time you purchase something to satisfy a temporary emotion instead of a genuine need, you're choosing short-term pleasure over long-term financial freedom without even realizing it. Learning to pause before making unnecessary purchases is one of the simplest habits that can dramatically improve your financial future, because many impulse purchases lose their appeal after just 24 hours of careful thinking. One of the biggest financial mistakes people make is constantly comparing themselves to others, because no matter how successful you become, there will always be someone with a bigger house, a newer car, a more luxurious vacation, or a higher salary. When your definition of success depends on keeping up with everyone else, you'll spend your entire life chasing a finish line that keeps moving further away. making it almost impossible to ever feel financially satisfied. Real wealth isn't measured by the brand of clothes you wear or the car parked in your driveway. It's measured by the freedom to make choices without constantly worrying about money. Imagine being able to leave a toxic job without panicking about your bills, take time off to spend with your family, or handle an unexpected emergency without reaching for a credit card. That is what financial freedom truly looks like. Another reason people remain broke despite earning good money is that they never invest in their financial education. Even though learning how money works is one of the highest return investments anyone can make. Schools teach us algebra, history, and science, but very few people ever learn how taxes work, how investing builds wealth, how credit scores affect financial opportunities, or how compound interest can completely change someone's future. As a result, many adults simply copy the money habits they grew up seeing, repeating financial mistakes for decades without realizing there are much smarter ways to manage their income. The good news is that financial education has never been more accessible than it is today, because thousands of books, podcasts, online courses, and educational videos are available to anyone willing to spend a little time learning. Knowledge alone, however, doesn't create wealth, because information only becomes valuable when it's consistently applied through daily financial habits and smart long-term decisions. Many people believe budgeting means sacrificing everything they enjoy, but that's one of the biggest myths about personal finance, because a good budget isn't designed to limit your happiness, it's designed to protect it. A smart budget allows you to spend confidently on the things that genuinely improve your life while eliminating the expenses that quietly steal your future without providing lasting value. Another habit that separates financially successful people from everyone else is maintaining an emergency fund. Because life is unpredictable and unexpected expenses are guaranteed to happen sooner or later. Whether it's a medical emergency, a major car repair, losing your job, or an urgent home expense, these situations become temporary inconveniences instead of financial disasters when you've prepared for them in advance. Without emergency savings, even a single unexpected bill can force someone into high-interest debt, creating a financial setback that may take months or even years to recover from. Perhaps the most powerful financial habit anyone can build is paying yourself first, which simply means saving and investing before spending money on unnecessary wants instead of hoping something is left over at the end of the month. The reality is that if you wait until every bill is paid and every desire is satisfied before saving money, you'll almost always discover that there's nothing left to save. Automating your savings removes emotion from the process, allowing wealth to grow quietly in the background while you continue focusing on your career, your family, and your daily life. Always remember that your paycheck can make you comfortable for today, but your investments create freedom for tomorrow, and understanding that difference completely changes the way you think about money. The people who eventually become financially independent aren't always the ones with the highest salaries. They're the ones who consistently make smarter financial decisions year after year, even when those decisions seem small. If you're earning a good salary but still feel broke every single month, don't immediately assume your income is the problem. Instead, take an honest look at your spending habits, your debt, your savings rate, your investments, and the financial choices you're making every day. Your financial future won't change because you receive a bigger paycheck. It will change because you become a better manager of the money you already earn, making intentional decisions that move you closer to freedom instead of further into financial stress. So before you chase another raise, another promotion, or another high-paying job, ask yourself one simple question. If your income doubled tomorrow, would your wealth actually grow, or would your spending simply rise to match it once again? The answer to that question may reveal the real reason you're still broke despite earning a good salary. And it could also become the first step toward finally building the financial future you've always wanted. If you found value in today's video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because every week we share practical strategies that help ordinary people make smarter money decisions and build extraordinary financial futures, one habit at a time.